Welcome to the Friday, April 26, 2019 video version of the Wagner Daily. My name is Rick Petticelli, and this is our weekly video where we cover broad market conditions, open positions, as well as what's out there in terms of new setups. So let's get right to the charts. The NASDAQ 100 QQQ closed with a bit of a hangman session here, basically a hammer-like day at the highs rather than at the lows. When it comes after an extended uptrend, it could be a warning signal that the trend is tiring out. But QQQ would have to close below Thursday's low to confirm that this was a bearish candle. If we look at this uptrend line here, now it obviously broke this really steep uptrend line a while back, so this is the new uptrend line. It continue. There's several touches on this uptrend line. Here's the third touch, which is really after you have your first and second, the anchor. Here's the third, fourth, fifth touch. If QQQ were to break the 425 low and this uptrend line on a closing basis, either tomorrow or next week, that could signal some short-term weakness. And also, Amazon reported earnings after the close and was maybe trading up about 1% or 2 in after-hours trading and closed maybe less than 1% higher. So if Amazon were to have a strong reaction in the morning to the earnings report, then that could lift the NASDAQ higher. And what we continue to find interesting about this market is that here we have QQQ, which is in a very strong uptrend, recently broke out to all-time new highs. And then we have IWM, which can't even get above November highs and is sitting about 10% almost off the prior high. And we have the mid cap S&P 400, which did manage to clear the highs of November, December here, but is also about 5% off the highs of last year. So just a lot of relative weakness there. And if we look at the relative strength line in IWM, as the price has gone higher, it's almost set a new low for the year. So you can see just a ton of weakness in small and mid cap stocks. However, that can be misleading because there are plenty of mid cap stocks in software sector that have exploded higher this year. So not all mid caps are lagging. And let's go back to QQQ. Let's look at the weekly here. So this week's price action does set a new high. And so I would think next week we'd have to be on the lookout for their weakness, as this is a pretty obvious breakout. All right, in terms of open positions, we have two. We have SC, which is looking pretty good here. There's the daily tight consolidation above the 50 MA. What we like about the weekly chart here is that the price action has kissed the 10-week MA here this week and cleared the highs of the past 3 weeks on a pickup in volume. Still have another day trading. And we like this tight range right here. If the price action can bust through the 3-day high here, it could be off to the races on Friday or early next week. And note the tight price action that is accompanied by very light volume here. And we still have our buy stop entry above range highs to add to our current position. And SMAR, which we purchased based off of this reversal candle here on 418. It was a starter position. This is the first pullback to the 50 MA in an explosive uptrend. So this should be a level that holds, but it may take some time for the price to move significantly higher as it's building a base right now. And this is basically the lower third of the base here. Okay, so for Friday's session, let's take a look at what's buyable. QTWO, any pullback into this rising 10-day MA here, if it's a 1-day pullback or 2, would be great for an entry on weakness. This is a pretty strong breakout so far this week. Volume's already well above average. There's 2 days of heavy volume buying here off the 50-day MA. So it looks pretty good, and the price is at all-time highs as well. TTD, put in a pocket pivot day, which is just a pickup in volume when a stock is trading in a tight range. 425 was also a pocket pivot day, a pickup in volume. Basically, the volume on this day is greater than any down volume day in the past 10 sessions. And that's why there is a pink bar right here. So the pink histogram is the pocket pivot. This aqua colored bar is a 10-day low in volume. And these blue bars just indicate a 1% move on heavier than average volume, just as a heads up. I mean, it's usually obvious when there's big volume, but I like to see these bars down here, especially when they start to cluster together. So TTD, a move through Thursday's high on a pickup in volume would be ideal. The weekly chart's looking pretty good. We have basically 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row of pretty tight closes. Prior to that, there was 3 weeks in a row, and TTD should have at least a 20% potential on a breakout. MIME is also looking pretty good on the daily chart. Late in the day on Thursday, it triggered a buy entry over the highs of the past few weeks in the downtrend line. Note the pickup in volume. Volume was above average and was also a pocket pivot. So MIME is also buyable. Does report earnings around 513. That is not confirmed though. The weekly chart, we have a break of the downtrend line. We have the relative strength line pushing to new highs almost along with the price here, so that's a good sign. And the volume, if tomorrow's volume is decent, should be heavier than last week. And this is also a move to all-time new highs, which would follow through on the initial breakout here earlier in the year, which failed after a 50% rally. So this is a nice 9-week base following that rally. AXSM is a biotech stock that is extremely explosive, had a 100% move over 23 days. It's not something we'll list as an official buy, but it looks like it's trying to break out above range highs. CGC is another stock with explosive potential. It gapped above the 50-day MA on a pickup in volume and held on 418. The next day, it punched through the downtrend line and closed above on heavier than average volume. And the past few days, it's tightened up, especially on Thursday, printing a narrow range day, an NR7 day, on the latest volume it's seen in the past 10 days. So if it can get through this week's high, it could be in play for short-term traders. And the last stock here on the list is PanW. It was another stock that had a strong rally off the lows, but not much of a pause. So such an obvious breakout with much of a pause led to a false breakout and to the flat base-like price action we've seen over the past few weeks here that's held above the rising 10-week MA. I think a move through the 250 area is the buy point. You know, really don't have to wait for a move through the highs of the base at 260 unless you just wanted to add more to your size there. But either buying near the 50 MA with the stop on a break of the 50 MA or maybe beneath this swing low here. That's about 4% away, and then adding to the position above 250 would be the way to go. And PanW doesn't report earnings until 6/3. Any earnings dates mentioned in this report, please assume that they are not confirmed. So just to recap, we discussed the possibility of the Nasdaq maybe having some trouble moving higher next week, as this week is a very obvious breakout to all-time new highs, which will catch a lot of attention. Well, that's a wrap for tonight's video. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.